Why are the utility companies trying to kill residential rooftop solar in 2025? Well, it's complicated, but there are a bunch of reasons. Let's get into it. So, the main reason that the utility companies don't like residential solar is that when someone goes solar, all of the electricity that solar produces over 25 years or more is electricity they no longer have to buy from the utility. And that's generally a lot of money. Your average customer, your average home, is going to spend between $100,000 and $200,000 or more buying electricity from the utility over the next 25 years. It seems like a crazy amount, but as utility rates are increasing and you add it up, that is what people are going to spend. And obviously the utility is in a very tough situation if they're losing customers who are going to provide them $100,000 or $200,000 of payments over years. So that's the main reason that the utilities really hate rooftop solar. They lose customers and they lose them for life. So that's a big deal. So residential solar does not have to be all bad for the utilities. And in fact, in markets where there isn't a lot of rooftop solar, there are some benefits to the utility. So one of the benefits is that it can help offset somewhat peak demand. So for instance, here in the Northeast, we produce most of our solar electricity in the summer. And the solar is cranking out when the sun is shining and it's hot. And that's also the time that most homes and businesses turn their air conditioning on. And that can be a huge benefit to the grid because then they don't have to pay gas-powered peaker plants to offset that extra demand when the air conditioning goes on. Unfortunately, that overlap is not perfect at all. And so that is, as a market becomes more mature, in other words, as more and more solar comes online in a particular utility market, the benefit to the utility decreases. Now, the way that the utilities are going about trying to kill residential rooftop solar is by trying to get rid of one-to-one net metering. This has already been successful in Hawaii, Nevada, and very recently in California. And this is a big deal because it really changes the economics of getting rooftop solar for the individual homeowner. It makes it much less financially beneficial, and therefore people are a lot less likely to do it. So why are the utilities trying to get rid of one-to-one net metering? And actually, in many parts of the country, they never had one-to-one net metering. And the reason is because the way net metering works is this. Solar only produces during the day. Doesn't produce anything at night. Also, it only produces during sunny days, not nearly as much on cloudy days, and sometimes none on rainy days. Of course, in the winter, there are fewer sun hours, and in some parts of the country, there's snow on the rooftop panels. So generally, solar produces much less in the winter and much more in the summer. So in order for it to make economic sense for an individual home to go solar, one-to-one net metering kicks in, and you get to keep your overproduction from the day and use it at night. And also, importantly here in the Northeast, you get to use your overproduction from the summer, and it stays on your bill as a credit amount, a dollar credit amount. And then in the winter, when your solar isn't producing as much, but your electric bill is just as high or higher, that credit can kick in. So all this means that if you live in a one-to-one net metering state or utility, that you can put up a system, if your roof will allow, that produces the same amount annually that you use, and you essentially won't have to pay the utility at all, maybe. Again, it depends on your local rules and how exactly net metering works for you, but generally most areas that have one-to-one net metering, you can eliminate or come very close to eliminating your electric bill with rooftop solar. So this is a fantastic benefit to the homeowner, but the utilities really hate it after there's a certain amount of solar in their area or on that utility grid. Now, if you currently live in a state and utility area that still offers one-to-one net metering, then you should probably consider looking into it to see if you can get in on that program. In almost all cases, it's very likely that if you enter into an interconnection agreement with the utility and you have one-to-one net metering, that when they change it, which probably all of them will, and get rid of it and go to a wholesale model, then it makes a lot of sense to get in now while you can. It's almost certain that as the utilities change their rules and get rid of one-to-one net metering, that those people who have solar and are in the one-to-one net metering program will be grandfathered in. So now might be the time. Another potential benefit of rooftop residential solar for the utilities is that in the application process for interconnecting their solar to the grid, this utility has to make sure that the equipment, the local equipment on the grid, is safe and can handle that solar electricity that is now going to be net metered or backfed into the grid from the individual home. Now, we have an aging grid here in the Northeast, and it was not originally designed to have electricity go from the home back into the grid. It was only designed for it to come from the grid into the home. And so for those two reasons, often the equipment is not up to being able to handle that safely. And this actually allows the grid to charge the solar customer for upgrades that they would have had to do eventually anyway. So when we apply for interconnection with the utility, in many states, they absolutely have to say yes, but they are very much allowed to say yes, but you need to pay us to upgrade our infrastructure in order for that to be safe. So that's kind of fantastic for the utility because they get upgrades that are paid for by individual consumers, and that can be a real benefit. Now, it doesn't work that way with every utility in every state, and certainly there are grid costs that are benefiting solar that the utility does have to bear. However, they certainly pass on as much of it as they can to the individual solar consumer. So, and unfortunately for the individual, that charge may be so big that they kill the project and don't go forward because it no longer has any economic benefit. So, what does it mean when the utilities get rid of one-to-one net metering? Well, usually what it means is that any excess electricity that you produce with your solar will be net metered back through your meter and onto the grid, and the utility will usually, rather than giving you a one-to-one, which means they would give you the same amount that you would have paid for it. So if you pay 32 cents a kilowatt hour, they would credit you 32 cents a kilowatt hour. When they get rid of one-to-one net metering, it usually means that they're going to pay you wholesale rates for that electricity. So you no longer get the same amount of money for the electricity that you put back into the grid that you paid for it when you brought it in. So here in Massachusetts, most people are paying between 33 and 38 cents a kilowatt hour, and we get net metered. So if I produce extra electricity during a day, it goes back through my meter, and on my bill at the end of the month, I'll get credited for every kilowatt hour. I'll get credited similar to the rate that I paid. So if I pay 33 cents, I'll probably get credited about 32 cents. They do shave a little bit, but it's close to one-to-one. And when they get rid of that, what's going to happen, likely, as it's happened in California and other states, is that instead of giving me 32 cents when I pay 33, they're going to give me wholesale rates, which is like 2.5 or 3 cents. So that is the way that the utilities are going to try to get rid of rooftop solar. They're going to make it so that it's no longer nearly as economically beneficial to the individual consumer because they're going to recoup all of that net metered electricity and they're going to get it really cheap and be able to sell it to your neighbor for full rate. What are the solutions to this? Well, from the grid side, what we need is massive amounts of storage so that we can take the renewable energy from wind and solar and other sources that is not a constant supply, and we can store it so that it can then be put on the grid as it's needed. But that infrastructure is unbelievably expensive, is really going to take new technologies and a lot of time in order for that to be grid scale and allow the grid to be stable with just renewable energy. We're just not there yet, and it's going to be a long time, if ever, for us to get there. However, as an individual consumer, already the battery technology is good enough to do a battery with solar and have a battery be set up for self-consumption rather than backup power. You may have seen one of my other videos that talked about how you shouldn't get a battery here in 2025 and you should wait for the technology to change. And that is true if you're only going to get a battery for backup power. However, if you're in a state where net metering is no longer one-to-one, getting a battery for self-consumption is pretty much the only way that you can go solar and beat the grid. Many companies have come up with less expensive batteries for self-consumption because they don't need some of the architecture and parts that would make it work for backup power. Solar Edge, who is the company that I recommend their inverter system, and I would recommend pairing a battery with their inverter system, they have a great self-consumption battery, and it's It's less expensive than other batteries and makes it so that in many of those states where you no longer have one-to-one net metering, if you have high utility costs and you have a good roof for solar and you add a battery to the system, it can still make it so that you're paying less for your electricity than you would if you stuck with utility. And certainly that will be true over time as utility rates are going to continue to increase. All of this can be pretty confusing, but if you would like to learn if solar and batteries are right for you and your home, you can talk to me. I will give you a free 30-minute consultation. I will answer all your questions, and I'll see if solar is right for you and if a battery might be right for you. I know I talk about the Massachusetts market a lot because that's where I live and where I've sold most of the residential solar systems I have, but I am now able to do solar nationwide. So if you're interested and would like a free consultation, please click the link below and sign up. If you found this video informative and helpful, you might check out some of my other videos.